you see, I see this as a golden opportunity because this is a time when we as individuals can unite and we can send a message to those that feed this message, this narrative, that actually love unites us all. That love and compassion transcends religion and colour and transcends anything that at first blush we might think of as differences, that we all are a challenge. But all I want to do is to share a couple of messages with you to perhaps just explain why this evening has taken place. Like many of you over the last number of years, I have watched the devastation and the suffering of our brothers and sisters in Syria on the news reports and on the media reports. And like many of you, I have also watched and listened to the very personal first-hand posts that have gone viral in the last couple of weeks of the suffering and the atrocities. And I couldn't cry in my living room anymore, and I couldn't sit on my hands anymore, and I couldn't do nothing anymore.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love, and this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place.
Representing the Hare Krishna fight here in Western Australia, and this evening I wanted to share a verse from an ancient scripture called Bhagavad Gita. So this verse is in Sanskrit, so I'll recite the Sanskrit verse first and read the translation. Bhaktaram Vignatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sudridam Sarvabhutanam Jnatamam Shantaricchati. The translation for this verse is: a person in full consciousness of the Lord, knowing the Lord to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all planets, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material life. This we refer to as a peace formula. So this is what our message: to understand that everything belongs to Lord, and then when we work cooperatively, then we can peace in this world. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Adam Levin, and I am standing here tonight with a message from the President of the Jewish Community Council of Western Australia and members of the Jewish community. We share in the difficult times of people of Syria, and it's interesting when I was considering some comments to share with you tonight. The Jewish community has had a very long association with Syria, and particularly with the town of Aleppo. There's been residents for the Jewish people in Aleppo for the best part of 3,000 years. It's been a safe haven for Jewish people for many, many years. It also features in the Bible in the days of King David 3,000 years ago. It also, some of you may be aware of the Aleppo Codex. The Aleppo Codex is the oldest manuscript that is still existing today. It's over 1,000 years old, and it's the oldest continuous writing of the Old Testament of the Bible. And I thought that was quite important to share with everyone tonight, because in that Bible, along with many writings and many stories from many religions and faiths and cultures around the world, is the golden principle, the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And our prayer for everyone tonight, and our prayer for the children of Syria is that those who are in positions of power and authority take a moment to consider that golden rule. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Dallas from the Baha'i Faith, and I'd like to sing to a prayer for unity. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants, and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide within thy law. Help them, O God, help them, O God, in their endeavor.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Drew Bentley. I'm the President of the Buddhist Society Western Australia. And Reverend, I think you've got a new candidate for your choir. Unfortunately, as per usual, mayhem and massacre continue throughout human history. Buddhism, being a very practical religion, tries to offer practical solutions, and one classic Buddhist teaching is approaching the problem from two aspects, that is wisdom on one hand and compassion on the other. So I think a gathering like tonight, we've got the compassion covered. So as far as wisdom goes, I'll just read a short verse from the Dhammapada, which is an ancient collection of Buddhist sayings, not all of them attributed to the Buddha. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who harbour such thoughts do not still their hatred. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbour such thoughts do still their hatred. Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. Only by non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This law is eternal. Thank you.
Aleppo and the tragedy that is the Middle East, the land of the prophets of old. I agonized about the topic over a number of days when I was requested to represent the Muslim community. What is the religious response? God declares in the Holy Quran, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا. O you who believe, if a sinful person brings you a report, a narrative, verify its correctness. And تُصِيبُ قَوْمًا بِجَهَالَةٍ, lest you eventually harm a people out of ignorance, فَتُصْبِحُوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ, and thereafter regret what you did. Ours is a civilization distinguished in history by its hypocrisy and its silver-tongued lies. Our leaders in our politics are prostituted to the highest bidder, and in this turbo-capitalistic, biocidal, godless, nihilist, genocidal, decadent modern world, unfortunately, we have the short end of the stick.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the inside.
The young man began to cry. He lifted his hands up and he started to pray. Started to pray for the people of this country that he hadn't known, because he couldn't understand how we had heard about them and why we were there and why we should have cared for them. And And that's all he was really excited about. It didn't matter what aid we brought, how much we had given. It was literally the fact that we cared. He kept asking this question of, why are you here? Like, why would you care about us though? No one else cares. And this man on the wheelchair and his wife with a walking stick walked for 15 days from Syria to Jordan at 95 years old. He has more experience than I can ever dream of. And yet, after he made his prayer, he carried on laughing. He's like, shouldn't you give me an answer? Is she marrying me or not? He's like, I'm leaving you here, I'm going back to Australia with her. And I'm like, yeah, sure. All of you are most welcome. But that is the beauty of the Syrian people. And as they got onto the bus that day, and I knew that I would never see this man again, he stopped again and he said a prayer and he said, take a message back to your country. Tell the people that I pray for them. I pray for their prosperity, I pray for their goodness, I pray for their safety. Give them, I ask my Lord to give them. I've got nothing else left. And that's the story of the Syrian people. There's another little girl that I always talk about, and I would love to share the story with you here today. Her name is Munira. And Munira is now 4 years old, but when I first met her, she was 2 years old. And I went to an orphanage in Turkey, which our organization runs, and it's literally just a room with another small kitchen and some bathrooms. The kids go to school there, they live there, they eat there. That's all they actually know. And she must have been playing somewhere else when we first entered into the orphanage, and we were playing with kids who were doing some drawings. And she walked in literally at 2 years old like she owned the place, okay? We were busy, but I had to look up to go, who is this? She had that much of presence. And she had this short blonde hair and massive blue eyes. And obviously we were also drawn to her. She was having none of it. It was just like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy. She played with the kids, she pulled some toys from some other kids, and you could see Munira ruled the orphanage. But something happened and one of the little boys began to cry at the back of the room. And as I've come to learn in all orphanages, orphan children are amazing. Their capability for love is absolutely amazing. And all the kids kind of gathered around him, trying to comfort him and make it better. Munira looked up and saw this, and she walked over to them and literally swatted the other kids like flies, okay, to get to him. She got to him and she wiped his tears, and she kissed him, and she made sure that he stopped crying. He was her older brother. And Munira and her brother were left abandoned on the side of the road in Syria. They were picked up by another family and brought through. And this is the story of millions of Syrian children who have no idea who their parents are, who've either lost their parents or can't find them. There's people who are living in Jordan, children who are in Jordan, whose parents are now living in Turkey. This is the story of the Syrian children. But I can stand here and I can tell you millions of stories of death and destruction and sadness. But if I'm really bringing the message from Syria, then I would be doing the people there a huge injustice. Because everywhere you go, these children are the most amazing children. Every time your car pulls up, they rush to it. They give you smiles, they give you love, they want to know who you are and where you come from. They're children. And the minute you talk to them and you speak to them, they tell you about their dreams to become doctors.
Here I have Rabia Sadiq. Rabia is going to be telling us a bit about what she took away from organising this night tonight.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for being here. I guess like everybody else over the last few years, and particularly the last couple of weeks, I've been watching the devastation and the suffering and the loss and the atrocities in Syria. And I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired and distressed and upset and feeling like there was nothing I could do. And I guess in a moment of desperation last week, I sent a post out to all my friends saying, we've got to do something. What can we do? And within minutes, I got beautiful responses. One of my friends, Hussein, who was here tonight at the multi-faith gathering, said, why don't we just extend an invitation and have a multi-faith gathering of prayer and reflection. And that's where the seed was sown, and within a couple of hours, the Dean of Perth, Reverend Pengelly, who was in Cambodia doing humanitarian work at the time, said, well, you can use my cathedral if you want. And 5 days later, this beautiful gathering. So for me, what I take from this evening is hope that from a tiny seed of an idea that so many of us share, and the common sentiment that we can come together, and that love and compassion transcends race and culture and religion, and that actually love really is the strongest force in the world. And hopefully that the people of Aleppo can take some tiny comfort that the people from Perth, the other side of the world, have been sending love and light to them tonight. I guess that's not everything, but that's a start.
Yes. Just goes to show you when you set your intentions right, you can move mountains.
I think so. You know, I talk a lot about the ripple effect, and how it just takes one person to create a ripple or to sow a seed, and I think tonight was a beautiful example of that. So hopefully the ripples, the tiny ripples that we've created in Perth, will be felt by the people of Aleppo, and they know that they're not alone and they're not forgotten. And maybe, just maybe, it will also, this is my son, hi Oscar, live TV.
Yes.
And maybe, you know, the leaders and those that are waging war, maybe one day soon we'll realise that their actions are not representative of us, the people that they lead.
Yes, very good. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Rabia, and thanks for organising it for us.
Pleasure, shukran. Thank you.
Okay, there everybody. Leah Cornish-Ward reporting for Roots TV. I'm here with Uncle Ben, and it's just been after the service for the people of Aleppo at St George's Cathedral. Uncle Ben, would you like to tell us at Roots TV how tonight went? I believe that you opened the ceremony with Welcome to Country.
Yes, my nephew Dr. Richard Wally and I. Yes, well, the suffering over there makes you feel how lucky you are to be living in Australia, where there's no, even though my people have suffered through the years, and they're still suffering. And I look at young Clinton Pryor doing that walk across the Gun Barrel Highway, making his way through to Uluru. He's somewhere making his way to Canberra, I think.
Yeah, this is Clinton Pryor. He's a Noongar chap from. He's a warrior, and he's travelling across Australia with his own feet.
That's right. And I'm hoping to be there when he arrives in Canberra with thousands of others, and so we can make a change for my people over here. There's a lot of problems over here, incarceration in prison and homelessness and 3 strikes in a row, hopelessness and racism, and I'm always getting calls all the time as a 77-year-old elder, and it's, I just keep battling on and chipping away.
And that's all you can do, isn't it, Uncle Ben? So suffering is not just confined to one area of the world. I think we all have to heal everywhere, don't we?
That's right, yes, it is. I don't like watching the TV when Aleppo comes on at night in the news. Oh, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So sad. Even my family, they reckon they makes them cry. See little children getting pulled out of the rubble and the ashes and ambulance and what sort of government is that over there that's kill little children, innocent people.
Yeah.
What sort of people are we dealing with?
Okay, thank you, Uncle Ben.
Peace to you. My name is Gareth. I'm an assistant priest in this place. I remember the olive trees on the approach to Aleppo. The site is not unusual, though it is the pistachio groves, fustaqalbi, the pistachios of Aleppo, that are distinctive of the city. No visitor's experience of Aleppo was ever complete without getting lost in the labyrinthine medieval market, Souk al-Medina, guided by sense of smell to the spice cellars and then coming out blinking into the sunlight to gaze upon the soaring ramparts of the citadel. That souk is now mostly destroyed. The winding alleys of the Jadeda neighborhood still bloom with the fragrance of jasmine flowers on summer evenings. I remember there a Sunni Arab policeman walked with me all the way to the Armenian cathedral, which I couldn't find for myself. As we went along countless alleys, he recounted the most beautiful features of his city to me. He left me in front of the gates of the cathedral with the most supreme achievement of his city. The most beautiful thing, he said, is that we are different languages and religions, but we live in peace with each other. How hollow his hope now seems. Please will you forgive me these Orientalist ramblings of a lover of Aleppo, but these are the dreams to which I cling, as do many, and their hope against hollow hope. 3.5 years ago, 2 church leaders of Aleppo were abducted together. Archbishop Boulos Yazigi of the Greek Orthodox Church and Archbishop Yochanan Ibrahim of the Syriac Orthodox Church. The Christians of Aleppo and throughout the world continue to pray for their safe return, a hope that is ever more fragile.
Here with Dr. Richard Pengli, actually the very Reverend Dr. Pengli.
Only on a good day.
Only on a good day. And today's a sombre day.
It is. Yes. It is. Yes, we have just acknowledged the people of Aleppo. We've had a multi-faith time of prayer and reflection and candle lighting. It's been extremely moving.
Yes.
And I hope that our prayers and our love and our feelings help in some way.
Well, hopefully people over there will see this and it will give them hope. And so what did you take away from the service?
I took away from the service the goodness of humanity. It's very easy in these situations to reflect on the bad and to get depressed and to read the media and think, here we go again. But tonight we had a few hundred people who came and shared out of their hearts and said there is a better way, and we're going to fight for that. We're going to give some money towards it. We're going to send our prayers. And I walk away thinking, well, humanity's really good. We've just got to keep working at it.
Yeah, I mean, chipping it away slowly but surely. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.